Welcome in, everybody. Scott Beebe here with Business on Purpose. And if you're listening to us on Facebook Live or eventually on the Business on Purpose podcast, and of course, you can catch us over on YouTube. You can go over there, subscribe, LinkedIn, and then like us on our Facebook channel, our Facebook page, My Business on Purpose. Hey, one quick note. At the time of this recording, April 20th, 2020, this coming Thursday at bit.ly/Biz Owner Huddle, we're having our next live Business Owner Huddle this coming Thursday. I believe that would be the 23rd at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Love to have you join us. So much changing right now. We'll have our team of experts from government affairs, lawyer, CPA, and banker on the call to help you navigate a lot of these changing waters right now so that we can be a resource and an asset for you as we go forward. Hey, there's a lot to talk about right now as we're going through this, and I was looking back at a song that popped into my head over the past, this morning actually. It was Bob Dylan's song, "The Times They Are A-Changin'," because they are a-changin'. Right now, we're going through there's an international narrative that's happening right now, harmonizing around the idea of reopening the economy, and it's the assumption that once reopened, everything's going to turn back to, and I'm using air quotes, normal. Well, normal's not possible. I think we need to come to grips with that. And as with any trauma among the mind or the body, we begin responding differently to what may seem familiar. In fact, the mass sanitization of our physical connectedness will not shift for quite some time. If we think with reasonable minds through the next weeks and months, it will be difficult to land on an outcome where we sit side by side in schools, sporting events, faith gatherings, and movie theaters. The social turbulence is just too sensitive right now. We've been quick to put the mask on in response to our health and our governmental leaders, and rightly so, but it will be very difficult to take them off in the presence of an invisible enemy. And so we've got to think through that, because so much of our normal economy depends just on the physical connectedness of people. Think about a typical Sunday through Saturday, just a week. Just a couple of months ago, you can pop into your local lunch spot, shake some hands, fill up a condiment cup from the open salsa bar, sit down within inches or feet of a stranger who's eating along with their one-year-old who's coughing and sneezing, laughing, slobbering, what one-year-olds do, and we laugh because it's cute. We then take our lunch remains to the trash can and then with bare hands open the door to head back out to our office spaces where we're surrounded by people. Maybe Bob Dylan was right. Maybe the times, in fact, they certainly are a-changin'. And so there's a great lyric. He said, "You better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone." So the question is, what are heroic business owners to do in response to transformational times? Well, first, heroic business owners must own the change. It is of little value to bemoan the loss of what was and to start thinking about, oh my gosh, we've lost it all, or we've lost this way of life. Since the creation of what we now see, all living things have been in a process of growing and shedding and repeating, growing, shedding, repeating, growing, shedding, repeating. And Bob Dylan alerts those who wish to try and stop the ocean new waves from breaking, and he says simply, don't stand in the doorway. Don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. We've got to wake up today with a mindset on navigating the new while learning and appreciating what was. Second, heroic business owners must commit to change 1 degree at a time, one thing at a time. In the Business on Purpose community, we frequently talk about how we don't turn the business temperature from 68 to 87 within minutes. Instead, we go from 68 to 69 and then 69 to 70. And although it feels like the change you feel happened overnight, it has not happened overnight. Changing times take months, years, decades, but standout moments like a COVID-19 scare make it feel like everything changed overnight. It did not. Using a tool like Brian Moran's 12-week year, which we use all the time around here, you can commit to short intervals of small changes over time. Third, business owners have got to realize that 3 to 6 months of cash on hand is no longer an optional thing from here on out. It is not about saving or being stingy. It's about being on a shipping freighter out in the middle of the ocean, and you're stocked in preparation for the storms that you don't know when they're going to come, but you know they are going to come. The climate of business has changed, and unpredictability is the new normal, and that's okay. In fact, we should welcome that. We should prepare well with the reserve tank so you do not have to depend on government stimulus, whether you took it or not. We just don't want you to have to depend on it, especially in countries where there are no spare resources left for government stimulation. So we've got to think through those sorts of things. 3 to 6 months of cash is no longer an option. We've got to have everybody subdividing their bank accounts through the Business on Purpose process in what we use with Mike Michalowicz's Profit First, so that you can be prepared for the coming storms, because this isn't the last one. The 4 things business owners need to be doing right now is heroic business owners must own their schedule. Listen, we're already preparing for the luring call of the activities calendar. Right? The school sports, the nightly dinners, the dance clubs, travel soccer, AAU basketball, cheer, theater, all these things, they're waiting to call you back. In fact, they're going to be expecting you to come back to them. Heroic business owners are also heroic moms and dads who now realize that they own the calendar instead of the calendar owning them. They will begin aligning their new calendar to the changing times around their family vision, their mission, and their values, which obviously means that you've got to have a written vision, mission, and values for your family. We want to encourage you to do that. So while the rest of society sprints back in a feverish pace and binges on open activities, the heroic business owners will continue pausing to evaluate. Does this activity and the time it requires fit our family vision, mission, and values? Finally, we've got to be a student of digital technology. And in the emerging digital technologies and new digital technologies, we can't bemoan them. We can't berate them. We've got to be students of them. Digital technology connection will become standing requirements in some setting, no longer optional. Rotating office schedules with periodic remote access will become much more common. Schools they're already rethinking their student body seating and hallway flow throughout the day, and periodic remote schooling versus in-building schooling. And we've got to think through those things. Heroic business owners take time to be students of technology, heeding Bob Dylan's own words, don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand. And he goes on to say the times, they are a-changin'. Just because the times and the technologies are a-changin' doesn't mean that the standard of truth has shifted. Absolute truth is still firmly planted. It's immovable, although the methods may shift around it. So let me finish with this. The present now will later be the past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be the last. The times, they are a-changin'. Again, at the time of this recording, April 20th, here in about 3 days or 4 days on Thursday, I believe it's April 23rd, 2020, our live Business Owner Huddle. If you go to bit.ly/Biz Owner Huddle, right there, we want you to join us. We've got our government affairs contact, our banking contact, our CPA contact, and our legal contact will be joining us, helping us navigate these changing times and what these things are going through. So connect with us on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, like us on our Facebook page at My Business on Purpose, and we will catch you next time right here on the Business on Purpose platform, where we're helping you be liberated from the chaos of working in your business.